And now for something completely different.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cinematic Relief. I'm Ralph Boner,
And I guess that makes me Wanda.
and welcome to our WandaVision spectacular. I've already trickled in a little reference to the show. Maybe you can figure it out if you're a eagle-eared listener. But just wanted a heads up, spoiler alert warning for all of it. We're gonna talk about all of WandaVision. We're gonna spoil every goddamn thing about it. So if you have not caught up, don't listen beyond right now.
Thanos. No, just kidding.
Thanos. I know there was 3 different Thanoses from the multiverse. There's a no, never mind. It's not important. There's a Thanos thing in the comics that makes me so happy, but it's not important. It's not relevant.
The Thanos helicopter?
What? No, I don't know what that is. No, it's you know what?
Yeah.
How did you like WandaVision? Now the WandaVision is all said and done. I think it goes without saying that you didn't like it at first. When it was just episode 1 and 2, you were not digging it.
I would even it took about till episode 4 for me to say it was
The one that wasn't WandaVision, that was
Yeah.
Here's
the thing. This might sound underwhelming. There's a lot of fantastic things in Marvel, and I hold it to the same level I would any of them.
Yeah.
And with that understanding, it was okay.
Really?
Yeah.
When everything was said and done, you didn't love the finale?
It was okay is the word I would give it.
Interesting.
I feel like there was a lot of fat that could have been trimmed. I feel like this could have been a movie, but they didn't think it would get enough.
Well, see, I think next week I'm going to sit down and watch all of it from beginning to end, because they've been saying the whole time that it was supposed to be, it's a big, long 6-hour movie,
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the best way to make a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's meant to be viewed as a movie, I wanna give it because I technically haven't done that. I wanna in one day just watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Were you
I am.
were you one of the people that were hung up on this promised cameo that didn't happen, that wasn't actually
no,
promised?
I don't care.
You know what happened, right?
No.
The Elizabeth Olsen was like, there's going to be a Luke Skywalker sized cameo in
There
our show.
definitely
She
wasn't.
didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Though. What happened was the interviewer said, is there going to be a moment the same caliber as the Luke Skywalker cameo? And all Elizabeth Olsen said was, yes, I'm very excited. And she was, of course, referring to the fact that she's the Scarlet Witch now, that she gets to be the Scarlet Witch and do all the cool Scarlet Witch stuff, and they're finally doing her story right. But people heard that, and they were like, Elizabeth Olsen confirmed this huge cameo. On top of that, Paul Bettany was like, he trolled us. He said there was an actor that was going to appear in the show that he's always wanted to work with but never gotten a chance to.
And
he
it was
talking
himself.
about himself.
Yeah.
And as soon as they showed White Vision in episode 8, I was like, oh, this motherfucker. You sly British fuck. You got us again.
I will say, of all things, that show has definitely gotten me to appreciate Vision more.
Oh, yeah.
And the actor who plays him. He's a funny, wholesome guy, and I really like him. You know who he reminds me of, quite honestly?
Who?
Dr. Payne.
Yeah.
Emery.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just get the same humor out of the two of them.
No, I can definitely see that. The ship of Theseus scene from the finale was probably my favorite scene. When both of them are in the library, they're talking about the ship, and it's like if you take apart all the planks.
Oh my god! Sorry. See, even when they started that in the show, I forget what the theory is actually called.
The ship of Theseus.
Yes. I in my philosophy class in college, that was one of my favorite
Yeah.
favorite theories.
There's an Astro Boy comic based on that. There's a Sherlock Holmes character, and he hates robots, but he takes off his trench coat, and you find out that he's all robot except his head because he's gotten so many replacements. And he's like, I ain't a robot, I'm a human. And then throughout the course of the story, he gets shot in the head. They replace his head. He's all robot now. Ship of Theseus allegory.
Right.
No, it's fascinating, and I love that they made that like the crux of this
Yeah.
New Visions. So do you think that New Vision is gonna
Oh,
come
yeah.
back and be like, now I'm Vision, marry me now?
Yeah, yes. It might not all happen at once, but I feel like, and I wasn't upset with this. It didn't feel like jumping the shark. They brought Vision back.
Mm.
And here's the thing. They brought him back in the most simple way. Vision's an electronic.
Right,
It's
right.
Just
They-
make him again.
If all Vision was to make him go from not living to living was the Mind Stone. I know that they have that whole speech where it's like, Vision's all these things, and we have to surgically remove the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
But if you need like a power core and they found one that replaced the Mind Stone, good, A+.
Yeah.
You've done it. The stupid thing would have been Wanda Magic's the thing that, and now the fake Vision is the real one.
Right.
Um,
I don't think we're going to get this. I'd really love it if his colors returned.
yeah,
He just looks creepy.
yeah,
And I know that was the intent because he was a bad guy and they changed his eyes to make him more human at the end.
right.
It's not just the creepy aspect, but it's just boring. There's
Right.
so many colorful colors are a huge
No,
part
I
of Marvel.
and I said this to you off mic, but the missed opportunity to have him be red and green like the comics.
Right.
I need to talk about Agatha, the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever. I love her so much. I didn't know who Catherine Hahn was.
Oh, really? I love her. I thought.
I hadn't seen her in anything. I thought. Turns
Yeah.
out she voices Doc Ock in Into the Spider-Verse, which was
Oh,
which was my fucking favorite part of that goddamn movie.
I actually did. That's like one thing I didn't know she did. She's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, I love her now. Did you know that it's her singing the Agatha All Along song?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's cool. She's great. The book she had, The Darkhold,
Yeah,
that's actually from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought was fascinating.
that's cool.
In
My
Agent-
dad just started watching that.
Oh, neat. It gets pretty bad. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 5, Ghost Rider shows up and he's like, I'm after this book. And then he like fucks off. He goes to hell or whatever. But they and then there's a new villain and she has the book. But long story short, season ends. He gets the book and he's like, oh, thank you for helping me to get this book. And then he does a Doctor Strange circle and
Yeah.
you can see the library and he walks and puts the Darkhold back in the Doctor Strange library. So no idea why she has it, but now Scarlet Witch has it and she's fucking reading it, which is not okay.
Yeah.
She's also like day 2 of knowing she controls magic is astral projecting like Doctor Strange was.
Right.
Also, Agatha name dropped Doctor Strange.
Did she?
She said, you're more powerful than the Sorcerer
yeah,
Supreme.
She did. Yeah. Yep.
Which, like, if I was Wanda, I'd be like, really? Because that guy is pretty powerful.
One thing that the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, the two characters, there's all of the Avengers, all of Marvel,
Yeah.
and then there's these two characters and the Infinity Stones
Mm.
that I feel like are not a part of the inner circle, and there's one very big reason for it. Everything else has an explanation. Tony Stark can explain to you why time travel works, whether it's sci-fi bullshit or not. I
Right,
mean,
right.
there's an explanation.
So wait, what isn't explained?
Magic. What is magic in
yeah.
the MCU?
Yeah, because the Ancient One does her best to explain how it works, but she doesn't say where it comes from or why
Mhm.
it exists.
And everything else has an explanation. Again, not to say like everything needs an explanation, but these three things, and I'm sure I could think of a couple more if I really thought about it. I don't particularly care to,
Right.
because I'm not trying to. I love the MCU, and I'm not trying to poke holes, but
Right.
these three things stick out like a sore thumb to me anytime Marvel is involved, and I'm sorry, the movies, the
Right.
cinematic universe gets involved, because they're the only three things without an explanation. But had the guy who can the smartest guy on Earth there, and he always avoided it. I guess Loki's powers too, and Thor's powers. But see, with Thor and Loki, it's almost like, well, Thor. Hold on, there's a reason I just said Loki, and we'll get off of this in a second.
Okay.
Sorry. Thor controls thunder.
Yeah.
Thunder is something you can easily explain with science. Even
Right.
if you want to bullshit it, you can explain what's happening in his body that makes him able to control the weather.
Right.
But then Loki's just magic. Like, he
Yeah.
can just teleport and shit.
Shape-shifting.
Yeah. It's just the only few things that don't get explained.
Well, it seems like, except for magic, it seems like all the stuff that don't really get explained come from space, like Loki and Thor and the Infinity Stones. So
Right.
maybe magic is a space thing. Maybe it is directly connected to the Infinity Stones. Maybe there's just magic, but you have to be someone who can tap into it. Because Wanda came in touch with an Infinity Stone, as we saw, and so did Doctor Strange. And I know that other people have too, like Captain America and all of them. But
Quill.
yeah. But maybe, and he's definitely not magic. He's like alien blood type thing going on. But maybe that's their explanation. Their explanation is it's the Infinity Stones and fuck you.
And if that's the case, okay. I feel like they could put a little more. I guess what I'm saying is there could be a little more explanation, and I would sit a little easier with the concept of magic being in the MCU if there was a little more. It's not ruining anything for me.
Right.
It's just something I was just thinking about.
So there's a few things I want to talk about in regards to WandaVision. First one being, there is not going to be a season 2. We talked about this on our podcast a couple weeks ago. If there is a season 2, which there won't be, but if there is, I think the way to do it is, first of all, drop all the sitcom stuff. Obviously, you're not tricking us anymore. I think Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness happens, and maybe Vision shows up in that, maybe not. Right? Whatever you want to do with Vision. If you're going to do a WandaVision season 2, I think it takes place after that, and it's completely different. I think that would ruin the integrity of season 1, because I feel like season 1 was a centralized story.
Yeah.
And I think the story they told is super compelling, and I liked it a lot. And I feel like calling something WandaVision season 2, also you lose like 3 of the 5 puns in the name if you don't have the sitcom thing in season 2, which if they're going to do a season 2, I highly recommend not doing the sitcom thing. As much as I liked it and appreciated it, there's no reason for it if there's a season 2.
I don't think I'd watch it. I think I'd have somebody explain to me what happens if they were like, it's going to be a sitcom again. I think I'd...
Well, I mean, this one wasn't even a sitcom.
It was for the first half.
Not half. I'd say it was for the first 2, and then shit got all wonky.
Shit got wonky. They still pulled a lot of sitcom stuff.
Right. It was still under the guise of a sitcom for sure the entire time.
And except for I would say except for the last 3 episodes.
Well, yeah. No, they and it's, see, here's the thing, right? I liked the sitcom stuff. I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting. And almost a little out of left field that Marvel was like, we want to pay homage to sitcoms, but I didn't mind it, especially once I found out why it was happening and, that it was Wanda. Because I, like everyone else, like the show wanted me to, thought that Wanda was, like, being experimented on somewhere.
Right.
But it turns out she was doing it, right? I will say the explanation for why everything was a sitcom was as stupid as I thought it would be
Yep.
when it was like they just watched them in their home country, which, by the way, they had Malcolm in the Middle, and I don't think the timelines add up. I
No.
didn't quite do the math, but I really don't think they do.
You and I did a quick, like, when would this have had to have happened?
Yeah. I forgot that was you and me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm sorry. Were you? Did you want to keep going?
I just really there was a lot to like. I'll tell you the one thing I really didn't like about WandaVision, and his name is Ralph Boner.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. I obviously Ralph, the husband she's talking about the whole time, that was that, right? That was him being like, "Oh, this is Ralph." It was a person who was in the town, but
Oh, yeah. Right.
but the Ralph reveal was eclipsed by the fact that this character was played by Evan Peters.
Yeah.
And I thought you were doing some multiverse shit, and turns out no, you weren't.
It was. Yeah.
It was a dick joke
Yep.
at the expense. It was a dick joke at the expense of the entire Fox X-Men universe.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate it. And when he was like, boner, I did giggle, but I am upset. I wish that that wasn't. I knew it was going to be something stupid. When they showed him, I was like, no way, they're actually gonna. And then they, the whole Halloween episode where he has the other one's memories, and you're like, what's going on?
Right.
Turns out it was dumb. It turns out it was stupid. Yeah, that I didn't appreciate that. I think that Monica was underutilized, but I
Oh,
understand
yeah.
why, because she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2.
Right.
Captain Marvel 2 is looking real good. It's going to have her, it's going to have Sam Jackson, it's going to have Captain Marvel, obviously, but it's also going to have Miss Marvel from the Miss Marvel TV show that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I didn't know that. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool.
I'm very excited for Captain Marvel 2, especially because we didn't really know when it was going to take place, and now we kind of have hard confirmation that it's going to take place now,
Right.
after WandaVision.
Right.
So that'll be cool. I think I said this once on air before. I just wanted to mention it again. We might do a WandaVision episode of Bopper Flop. With the Bopper Flop schedule, the SEO, we're talking about June at this point for the WandaVision episode,
Right.
and I feel like the SEO might be really not great on that by June, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't be the usual format
Right.
for that.
Right. You just did a quick rundown of what you thought.
Sorry. Can I bring up one more
sure.
thing I meant to bring
go
up?
for it.
The scene in Sokovia where she was with Hydra and
Mm-hmm.
she goes into the room and she touches the Mind Stone and she sees the Scarlet Witch. I have a theory. It's not my own theory, but I think it's the one that's true. So Marvel has been doing the multiverse thing for a few years now, just like DC. DC did it the right way, where there's 52 Earths, and each Earth is Earth 1, Earth 2,
Right.
Earth all the way.
Oh, you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Marvel Earths get crazy, right? So the main canon Marvel Earth is Earth 616, okay? There's a quick scene in Into the Spider-Verse where you can see a bunch of different ones, and they're all accurate, and you can see that Miles is not from 616. The fat, old Spider-Man is from 616.
Oh, Into the Spider-Verse. I don't
Yeah.
know why I was thinking of Far From Home.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, that
yeah.
was a load of bullshit.
No, yeah, and in fact, if you watch Far From Home, thank you for bringing that up, Mysterio says 616, right? But it's widely known that the main Earth in the comics is 616, but the MCU takes place on Earth 199999. Okay?
Hold on. So
MCU's its own canon on its own multiverse Earth. So what I think, I forget who originally said this, who put this idea in my head, but what I think is that when she saw the Scarlet Witch, I think she was actually getting a vision from Earth 616 Scarlet Witch. I think the only reason she's the Scarlet Witch now is because she saw the Scarlet Witch from the comics. Like, I think she met a comic book character, and it was like, you have the powers now, too.
That's some crazy shit. So what you're saying is the comic book universe exists within the cinematic universe, but the cinematic universe is not the main Earth still within Marvel.
Exactly.
That's nuts, and I really like
Part
that.
of what you just said is speculation on my part. Part of what you said is actual canon, that the MCU Earth is a different Earth and all that stuff.
I really like that. I really like the bridge between...
Because either way, the explanation is she saw the future, I guess, or
Right.
she just, like, she saw a ghost, and she's like, I'm going to design
Emulate
my
the
costume
ghost,
off
yeah.
that ghost I saw.
Right. That's cool. I like that. I like that concept.
Yeah, I really, sometimes I'll say a theory, and I'm like, maybe, but this one I think I really enjoy. Also, they didn't really, I guess they didn't have to, but they didn't explain what the commercials were or who the two people from the commercials were
I feel like
or why they happened.
I feel like we'll get that later.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
A lot of people are talking about, like, they didn't wrap up this, but no one's really talking about, like, what the fuck were the commercials and why did... Obviously, each one was a reference to something about Scarlet Witch.
yeah.
But some of them are references to stuff that hasn't happened yet, like the Nexus, which I looked up on, and it's like a comic thing for sure, but hasn't showed up in the MCU once. So you think that's some Doctor Strange stuff, like some stuff that'll be explained in the Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah.
Because Wanda is going. I'm surprised they didn't hit us with the Wanda will return. They love doing that shit.
I was waiting for it. That was their moment to be like, we're also bringing this to the TV shows. Because they do it after like every movie.
Right.
Except Endgame,
Right.
where they were like, by the way, Iron Man's dead forever.
Did they? I don't think they did it in Infinity War, did they?
They said Thanos will be back.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was the right choice. They could have said Captain Marvel will be back or some shit. Because of the after. No, they made the right choice. Thanos will return. Fuck you. Spider-Man's dead.
All right, let me do my rundown.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can appreciate that other people can appreciate the sitcom
Yeah.
aspects.
Oh, yeah. That we've talked about this before. You not being a fan of sitcoms doesn't take away from the fact that holy shit, what a great homage to sitcoms they did.
Oh no, they did them very well. I will say, I sat through that stuff. I did not enjoy. I just wanted to get to the point. They picked the perfect storm of shit to do in a show that I would not like, but had to sit through. They made a sitcom-based TV show
Right.
about a series that I really want to watch, so I'm gonna watch it.
That being MCU.
That being MCU, that was a cliffhanger that it wasn't going to get wrapped up anytime soon. And I didn't know when they were going to wrap up the sitcom horseshit. Do you know what I mean?
Or if they were at all.
Right. Exactly. Which is
Well,
a perfect
I think
storm
the end
right
of
there.
episode 1, where they zoom out and show the controller, was their way of saying, like, hang tight, it's not really a sitcom.
I understand, but at the time, I didn't know when they were going to stop this. I thought episode 2 was going to be in color. Episode 2 didn't need to happen, as far as I'm concerned.
Episode 2, I'm glad you bring up episode 2, because episode 2 was definitely the weakest episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say episode 2 was... You put it great back when episode 3 aired, or episode 4, and I don't think I agree with you then, but now seeing the whole thing, I think I agree with you. Episode 2 was like one too many.
Yeah.
Because we got one little thing in episode 1, and then we got like 2 sort of little things in episode 2, but all that could have been in episode 1.
Oh yeah. Honestly, it made me more anxious about the show than I was after the first episode, because I was
why
like,
they dropped.
it put
sorry,
a
I
bad
cut you
taste
off.
in my mouth.
I think that's why they dropped episode 1 and 2 same day.
Yeah. It just put a bad taste in my mouth. And from episode 2 on, I was like, all right, I'm already sick of this sitcom horseshit.
Yeah.
I want to see an MCU thing. I didn't come here to watch sitcoms.
I mean, but you keep saying that, but you did, though. Marvel said, we're going to make a sitcom. And you sat down to watch WandaVision.
Okay. Marvel,
You know what I'm saying?
Marvel said, we're going to continue our story, and it's going to be sitcom-based. And I said, okay, fine, I guess I'll sit through that. But then they said, but it's not really going to be a sitcom. And I said, okay, then get to when it's not a sitcom, please.
Well, but they weren't going to do that right away. I think what I'm saying is the way the show was paced was clearly intentional.
No, right. They did exactly what they wanted to do. What I'm saying is the fact that they did it that way, it just didn't appeal to me.
Okay.
That's why I give it a big okay. I probably won't sit down and watch it again.
But now that it's over and the last 3 episodes there was just no sitcom and it was just sort of the last episode was a big superhero fight, you're still like, it was all right.
Yeah. Continue the character story. I definitely have a better appreciation for the 2 main characters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think if anything can be taken away from the show, it's what you just said.
I am excited to see where their stories go. I'm just sitting at okay with WandaVision.
I hope Doctor Strange, there's like a throwaway line in Doctor Strange where he's like, also, what the fuck? What's up with the sitcom shit?
Yeah.
Like, what was that about?
And I'll just sit there and I'll say, yeah. You tell them.
I do want to briefly talk about the theme songs and how great they were. I think that episode 5, real missed opportunity to do the Full House theme song.
Oh, I know.
Because of the
I know.
the Olsen twins.
I get it. I get the connection.
I think the Malcolm in the Middle one was the best one.
Yeah, see, so
And also MCU said Office sitcom rights.
oh, I know. They really tried to bring it with that Office intro.
Yeah. No, they did.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because that was my favorite intro they did. I'm sorry, my favorite intro that they parodied.
Yeah.
But I was like, almost. It's not better than it's not even equal to the Office theme, but I see what you're doing.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe it doesn't count, but my favorite one was the Agatha one. It was
Oh yeah.
It was a rip-off of the Munsters.
Okay,
of
yeah,
course, and it was just so perfect and great and really catchy, and I love it. Other than that, I think the Malcolm in the Middle one was probably the best one. That was the Halloween episode one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, excuse me.
Oh, don't make that sound into the mic.
Sorry. What were you? I feel like you weren't done saying stuff. Maybe you were, and I'm wrong.
I'm just saying. I guess what I'm saying is, if I have a less enthused rundown of the show, it's simply because it was set up for something I wouldn't enjoy, and I do understand. I'm not surprised by not my analysis, by the way. It's not a complaint. It's not a surprise. It's not why didn't you do this differently.
Right.
Like you said, I knew what I was going into. I feel like they could have cut back on the sitcom horseshit a bit. And that's I guess that's my only takeaway.
Yeah, see, I disagree. I think there was a pretty good balance of, as you so delicately put it, sitcom horseshit and like actual MCU lore.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I can understand and I can respect and I can appreciate that there are people who have less strong opinions or enjoy sitcoms than me who sat there and really enjoyed it. It was not set up to be something I would overly enjoy in the MCU. And guess what though? That's okay. Not everything has to be my favorite. And they're going off and they're doing different genre stuff. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
No, here's the thing, because MCU said, we're making a sitcom. This wasn't supposed to be, phase 4, if you will, was supposed to be the one where they're going to try new genres.
Yeah.
This wasn't supposed to be first.
I know
Widow
that.
was supposed to be first.
I can appreciate that, too.
Because they were going to make a spy movie.
Yep.
Then there was going to be this sitcom. And then Legend of Shang-Chi, or whatever it's called, my apologies, is going to be a martial arts movie.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to be a horror movie
Mhm.
directed by Sam Raimi. So they clearly want to try all these different things other than like superhero movies straight
Right.
up and down, you know? And the sitcom one, I agree, is a weird one to start with, but they weren't going to.
No, yeah, I can appreciate that too. I guess what I'm saying is didn't hate it. Thought it was good. I do appreciate the actual story that was happening, and I am excited to see more of these characters. Overall, just wasn't for me. But I'm gonna I'm gonna sit through the stuff that's not for me because I enjoy the overarching story of these characters.
Right.
You know, and that's just kind of where I'm at. And I like that, you know, we can be open and honest about how we feel because we're not always going to agree on the same stuff, but
Right.
it's just taste. It's what you like.
Right.
And yeah, it's funny to me that they just made a perfect storm of stuff I'm just not going to want to watch in a show. But they did it. That's okay.
Well, what did you not like besides the sitcom stuff, or is that literally
Just how
what
much it
you're...
dragged.
Okay.
I love shows. It's funny.
See, that's why I
guess I'm
keep going
wording
back
this
to the
weird.
finale. I thought that the finale was awesome, and I feel like...
It was awesome, but the whole time, we're not talking about just the finale though. I'm talking about the whole series. Yeah, the
No, I
finale
know,
was good.
but what I'm saying is, when you were like, I didn't like the sitcom stuff, I thought for sure we were gonna be like, oh, but the last 2 episodes were really good.
No, they were really good.
Oh,
But
okay.
we're talking about the show in general.
Right.
I'm giving a rundown of what I thought of the entire show. Yeah,
Right.
the last 2 episodes were good. They were what I was hoping. I kind of wish they started that with episode 5. I kind of wish the first half was sitcom. We cut the sitcom out, and now we're doing the show.
No, I thought it was interesting that they didn't do that, because it just shows how badly Wanda is clinging to, like, no, I'm gonna make this work.
Sure. It just made it harder for me to watch. They dragged the sitcom out a bit too long for my taste, is what I'm saying. That's the main thing that dragged me down, and I usually love shows that drag you along and leave you with cliffhangers and you don't know what's going to happen next week. But it was all wrapped around a giant sitcom that I was like, when are we going to rip the Band-Aid off of that
Yeah.
and we're going to do this show? Because it got to the point where I knew what was going on. And even characters in the show started to know what was going on. And we're still doing the sitcom stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, we can cut this. Like, I get that they're doing an homage to sitcoms and people are enjoying it, but in my head, I'm like, sitcom part starts, and I'm like, nah, I don't need this. Actually, the Malcolm in the Middle one is where I really felt that, where they're doing the cutaways and like, well, this is, and I'm like, I don't need this. I get what's going on in the show.
Yeah. But see, I feel like the Malcolm in the Middle episode is a good example of I'd say in the Malcolm in the Middle episode, they had more, like, what's Vision doing, what's the military doing, lore dump stuff.
Oh, they did.
To,
No, that's when they started getting more. There was less of the sitcom stuff.
yeah.
Absolutely, in the Malcolm in the Middle episode. But when it came on, I almost felt like I'm at a stop sign
No, yeah.
in
see,
the story.
I will agree with that. Once episode 4 happened, the episode where it showed Monica's backstory,
Yeah.
every episode after that where there was like you just said, the cutaway where it's like, remember Sokovia and Halloween when we got a fucking fish? That was the worst part of the episode. Because
Yeah.
I was like, well, sure, it was funny, I guess, but is Vision dying? Like, what
Right.
I-
No, that's exactly what I'm saying, and I guess that's how I felt with all of the sitcom aspects of this TV show. Is I just said it, and I think it's a really good. It felt like a stop sign.
Mm.
It felt like I'm enjoying this story, and then they're like, "Well, hold on, we gotta do the funny. Just wait." And I'm
Right.
like, "Okay."
And sometimes they were funny. I feel like episode 5, the Full House episode, was the one episode where every time they did like a sitcom thing, I was like, oh, this is cute, and I'm giggling.
Remind me, because
Them rocking the babies together, and the scene with the dog in the sink. It was a Full House
Oh
episode.
yeah, that wasn't bad. There was also, I really liked. I did appreciate the stork part.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, there was elements to it. I didn't like I said, I didn't hate the show. It just we're comparing. Here's the thing. WandaVision comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a bad thing to do, but I'm comparing it to Iron Man, Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do that just because it's a TV show. It's their first outing into a TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like even though they have the same special effects budget and the same, camera, I guess this is a bad example because they emulated sitcoms, but they have the same camera quality as the movies. I think it's not fair to, not even just because I'm not even saying like, but Endgame was so much better. I'm just saying like, because this is their first TV show, I feel like when Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out and we want to compare WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm all there for it. But I feel like saying WandaVision wasn't as good as blank Marvel movie is a little unfair just because it's its own.
but we do that with Mandalorian. We compare the Mandalorian to the Star Wars movies. We do because it's the same universe.
Yeah, you're right.
It's got and I'm comparing the same difference, WandaVision to the Marvel movies. Just because there's more of them doesn't make it different.
Right.
You
Then
know
what
I
were you
mean?
going to say? Because I cut you off to say what I just said.
I was just saying, compared to those, it gets a thumbs up. Okay, wasn't fantastic.
Could you give me an example of, this is just for me, another MCU movie that also got a thumbs up, it was just okay from you?
Black Panther?
Okay.
That's the thing. Like, if you want it, just because it gets a thumbs up, okay, doesn't mean it sucked.
Right.
Black Panther was good. It's not my favorite Marvel movie.
Right, exactly, yeah.
This wasn't my favorite. This isn't one of my favorite bits of MCU. WandaVision. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, me either.
I'm not
and I
saying
think
it sucked. I'm just saying it definitely doesn't. It doesn't hit my top 10.
See, that's sort of where my head is at. I feel like the most fun I had watching WandaVision was the week-to-week speculation of, like, what's going to happen next? What the hell did that mean when they said this? And now that it's over, and it's, like, one consumable thing, which I do really think this week I'm going to hunker down and just watch all of it in one go, see how that goes down. What was I saying? Oh, I feel like now that it's over and I know everything that happened in it, it's definitely not my favorite MCU thing. Because it's their first TV show, right? And it's easy to... This happened with The Mandalorian, too. It's easy to, on an episode-to-episode basis, before you know how the story ends, to be like, oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah.
And then, with the case of The Mandalorian, we take a step back and we're like, wow, that really was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what I'm saying is I loved WandaVision, and I loved watching it, and I know it's early, but it'll probably be my favorite season of television that comes out this year. We'll see how Umbrella Academy does. Everyone knows how much I love that. But I feel like the experience of watching WandaVision week to week is going to dwindle, and I'm going to have a more accurate number score for WandaVision once like a couple months goes by or something. Speaking of Marvel TV, we have a week off and then we're right into Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is exciting.
Oh, you know what? I have a score 1 out of 10 of the Marvel stuff we were doing, and we haven't done that for like a year and a half because ain't nothing come out. But I was scoring Marvel movies.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's probably far back in my
I think I have it on my phone.
Do you?
Yeah, let me check.
Let's both be on our phones
while we're doing the show.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah,
that'll be good audio.
But I guess that's what I'm saying is the watchability.
I found it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it goes up until Captain Marvel. You didn't give one for Far From Home or Black Widow, and you were doing them out of 5.
Well, I couldn't have given one for Black Widow.
True. That's just where my.
Oh, I
and
was
you-
doing them 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that makes it a little tougher. Okay, Far From Home.
Yeah.
I give it an 8.
8.
Oh, it's not. It's still not
So
out
a
of
4
10.
out of 5.
A 4 out of
8
5.
out of 10 is
yeah.
4 out of 5.
Ooh, maybe I'm gonna want to go back and redo this. Maybe we're paying homage to our good friend, who does it out of 4.
Oh.
WandaVision. Okay, actually, WandaVision I'd give a 3.
Okay. Just for comparison's sake.
Yeah, give me what I gave Black Panther.
3.5.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give WandaVision a 3.
All right.
That sounds about right. That's what it was. I had what an asshole. Okay, so I did it out of 10. It's 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and it just goes up.
Right.
That's the
I
system
see,
we
yeah.
were doing.
What's your worst rated? You didn't even rate Incredible Hulk.
Because we didn't watch it.
Oh. True.
How's about this for a rating?
You
though?
gave Iron Man 2 a 1.5. That's your worst. That's your lowest one.
Yeah, you know why? It was because I was
Same
getting
movie twice.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you watch them the way we did, you watch them back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, take that into consideration too. I gave WandaVision better than I gave Iron Man 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I hated it. I'm just saying it's wasn't for me. I appreciated the story I got out of it, and the rewatchability for me is at a 0. I probably won't watch WandaVision again unless Pauline really wants me to watch it with her.
And I think that if it were like an hour and a half, 2-hour movie, that would at least go up a little from a 0.
Oh yeah, because you'd get I'd get it all out in one viewing.
Right.
There's no hanging me. They're not going to hang me. I'm not the cliffhanger every week and then
Right.
holding that out for 2.5 months
Right.
on a show that on a sitcom that I really, I have mixed emotions about.
Yeah.
Isn't there. We could do it start to finish, and yeah, you're right. It probably would have gotten a better rating if it was a movie.
Right. I just meant on a rewatchability level.
Oh yeah, that would go up too. You get it out.
What fascinated me was your parents also didn't like the sitcom stuff, but your parents love sitcoms. Your parents watch sitcoms and stuff.
Well, they said that after the first 2 episodes, and I think it's because it was 50s sitcom stuff. It wasn't.
They're old, and they did they not watch that stuff when they were young?
It's the evolution of story writing.
Okay.
They watch modern sitcoms and they think they're hilarious. Modern sitcoms have close to nothing in common with I Love Lucy,
Right.
as far as puns and jokes and what have you.
Right. I mean, I Love Lucy doesn't even dress up as the Flash once.
No, okay, but you know what I mean, though, right?
No, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
that was me agreeing with you. Like I'm watching the Dick Van Dyke Show, and I'm like, "Where's your Green Lantern ring?" Come on.
But I think that's what they were in the same boat as me. Of like, let's get to the story, cut the sitcom.
Interesting.
But then once it got a little wacky, after episode 2, they were on board. And they really liked it, and they more easily saw through the sitcom stuff, I think, than I did. Once they realized what was going on, I think in their minds, because they don't look into this stuff the way you and I do.
Right.
They hear the word WandaVision is coming out this day, and that's all they know about it.
Right.
They sit down, they're watching I Love Lucy, but it's the actors who play Wanda and Vision, and
Yeah.
they say, "What the fuck is this?" And you know what I mean? I think they were more caught off guard and didn't know what to expect than we did, and they walked into an I Love Lucy sitcom that they were like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, first 2 episodes came out, and they were like, is this it?
Yeah.
Is this what we're doing? Because
see, I watched episode 1 and 2, but more so episode 1, and I, knowing that it wasn't going to remain like this for the whole time, I was just fascinated by how well they emulated the like comedy stylings and production
Yeah.
quality of of that sort of show.
Well, that's the thing, and I think a lot of the anxiety is driven by the fact that two almost same quality episodes came out the first day.
Mm.
It left a bad taste in mine, and I'd assume my parents'
I
mouths.
think it gave off the wrong impression. I think that
Yeah.
Marvel was like, okay, for the people who don't like sitcoms, let's put out the two most sitcomiest episode first, get them out of the way. And I feel like people like you who weren't really 100% here for the sitcoms, that were like, oh no, this is the whole thing.
No,
Because that's what I thought too.
Exactly.
I honestly thought I thought it was gonna be 6 episodes. My bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I bet you episode 6 is going to be. I thought episode 4 was gonna be episode 6, and it was gonna be the finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be 5 sitcoms and then the explanation of what's happening. But
oh
instead,
my God, that would have been tough.
instead we got 9 episodes, which I guess was always the plan. I'm just an idiot.
I think we got 8.
9.
No, we got 9. Yep.
And the last like 3, but also episode 4 and bits and pieces of episode 5 and 6 were the explanation of what's really happening, and really the only like true blue 100% sitcom episodes were 1, 2, and sort of 3,
Yeah.
because 3 ends with with her crashing through the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also the it's fascinating. There was a lot of stuff that happened in the trailer that I was like, that didn't happen in the show. Classic Marvel. But then it did happen in the show. Like when he like looked at her and is just like, Wanda, but they're in black and white. I was like, that never happened, but it totally did.
Mm.
And it was just later. I do want to. There's 2 things I want to talk about with the time we have left. One, why did Hayward not leave the car? How come Darcy crashes the truck into Hayward's truck and he's like, darn, and then like 20 minutes later the next shot is them like him being handcuffed away, and he's just like, you got me.
Honestly, I mean, to give a very realistic response to a sitcom show, the door could have been. Do you know what the jaws of life are?
Yeah,
His door could have been sealed shut.
but he just goes out the other door.
Could have also been because it's smashed up against something.
Yeah,
Both doors could have been effed up.
Yeah.
Also, he was probably effed up.
right.
He was probably took a
I
little time to
thought it
recover
was
from
funny
that.
how Darcy does her
Yeah.
thing and he just looks at her like, oh man, they really did get me. And then the next time we see him, just no dialogue, just him in handcuffs giving the same exact face.
Also, on the, what am I trying to say?
On the topic of Hayward,
Well, yes, but like just doing a quick overview of a quick synopsis of what's currently happening. How did they come to the conclusion that quickly that this dude did something really effed up? Like there was
oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
The FBI shows up and there was no investigation of like what was Jimmy Woo telling the truth? Is he really
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And forget Jimmy Woo for a second, because the closest person on the scene to him is Darcy.
right?
They're going to believe this pedestrian scientist over essentially one of their own.
Right. Well, no, Sword and the FBI are different sects of.
No, I know, but I just mean somebody who's, I guess in my head I gave them a little bit of camaraderie, being that they're
Yeah.
government agencies.
Isn't it funny how director of Sword turns out to be, lawful evil, right? And instead of calling SHIELD, we call the FBI, the real life Federal Bureau of Investigations, and those are the good guys. It was just so odd to me. I was like, you have a good government, like military thing. It's called SHIELD. And you could, okay, never mind. Anyways, I also want to talk about how fucking good her outfit looks now.
Yeah, she finally I didn't mind the
The original, the old stuff.
yeah, what do you call it? The
Jacket with the
long not long sleeve trench coat. The
Yeah.
trench coat look
with
It
the
gave it a
tails,
more
yeah.
modern, realistic look.
Right.
I didn't mind that. I'm also not overly offended that she has a more comic,
Outfit,
yeah,
costume.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here's where my head was at. One, if she's going to officially be the Scarlet Witch, and like another character is going to be like Scarlet Witch, and she's like, okay, I am the Scarlet Witch, she should have a costume change, I feel like. And if you're going to make it more comic book accurate, sure. The other part is Elizabeth Olsen for many years has been singing the song in interviews of my character is the only character with cleavage, and I would like that to go away, please. And her new outfit corrects that, error that was probably perpetrated by Joss Whedon. And also the fact that it looks not comic book accurate, but way more comic book accurate than it did,
Right.
made me happy. It gave her a new hairstyle, which
Oh,
made
yeah.
me kind of laugh.
Yeah, I guess I really wouldn't. It would be cool if she went from street clothes to that, kind of like Thor. Actually, exactly like Thor.
Yeah.
If she could just switch it up however she wants, because Thor doesn't
she
need
did
that
right at
get
the
up.
end. Remember when she took off? She was in street clothes, and then she
Yeah,
flew
yeah,
away,
exactly,
and now she's in.
exactly.
But she didn't have the helmet on. The what do you call that? Not a helmet.
Tiara.
Tiara, I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah. She had like a hood instead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yes. I remember that. I'd rather the hood.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do this change, I feel like they gave us options, and they were like, "Which one looks better?" I like the hood.
Which one was she astral projecting? She was astral projecting in the tiara, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
See, it's the same thing with Loki's horns. They got rid of them, and I feel like he looked a lot better. He looked more realistic. I'd much rather a hood than horn. There's no need for horns.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I would be much happier with the costume. I forgot they had a hood scene.
Yeah.
I'd be much happier with the costume if there was a hood than a tiara. It's unnecessary.
I like and I think they might go this route with it. I kind of like I'll put on the tiara if I really need to do like a big move type thing.
Yeah, but
You know what
give
I
it
mean?
a purpose, though. Tell me why.
I think the purpose, and this would be enough for me, I think the purpose would just be like the more powerful she gets, she puts on the tiara. Because it happened with the witch, with Agatha's mom. Remember? She started using more powerful magic, and then like a tiara formed on her for some reason, but it was blue.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then that happens to Scarlet Witch, and then Scarlet Witch turns her tiara into like an MCU, like it's made out of metal, like a costumed tiara.
Yeah.
So
If that's the case, if it's a byproduct of overuse of magic, then yeah, okay, whatever. I'd take that.
Yeah. So 2 after the credit scenes. 1 is clearly a setup for Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Did you think that maybe this was obvious, and maybe not, but did you think that the Skrull she was talking to was the kid from Captain Marvel?
Oh, that would be cool. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because there's that scene where Skrull, what's his fucking name? What's the Skrull leader's name? Why can't I think of it?
I forget. He's cool though. I like him.
Yeah, the one played by Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
He says something along the lines of like, when I was your boss, I had beautiful eyes because your boss has beautiful eyes. And then little tiny Monica turns to Skrull daughter and was like, never change your eyes because they're beautiful or whatever. I think that was her all grown up, I think.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think because that would make sense why she was like, oh, I've got a person that I know. And then we didn't recognize them, but then they were a Skrull. So that was fine. That was sort of like the I saw this coming after the credit scene. The second one, I have mixed emotions about because 1, she's doing the whole reclusive Thanos. I was evil, now I have to go sit in a thing.
Right.
Where she's up and about drinking tea, making tea, but she's astral projecting in the other room, learning about dark magic and reading the Darkhold and stuff. She hears the voice of her kids.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that, and what do you think they're trying to set up with that?
I wasn't offended by it. I think it's definitely a setup for the multiverse.
Yeah, do you think that because Vision, she knows what Vision looks like, but she just pulled these kids out of nowhere, right? And she had 3 versions of these kids:
Mm-hmm.
infants, 5-year-olds, and 10-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Um. So you think that she unknowingly copied versions of her actual kids from the multiverse, and we're gonna find out about that in Doctor Strange?
Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
Do you think they're gonna say Magneto?
I don't know about you, but it worked out.
Oh, good.
I don't know about you, but when they were showing the runes,
Yeah.
I was really looking for X-Men symbols or something.
Oh
anything.
yeah. No, nothing. Just a bunch
Nothing. Just a bunch of nonsense.
They looked Nordic, but they weren't.
No.
Also, I've watched every episode twice. And I didn't notice until my second viewing of the finale that she was totally missing, but she was missing on purpose because she was casting runes. When she's fighting Agatha in the sky, you can see her miss and hit the wall by mistake.
Oh,
but
yeah,
she's doing it on
yeah,
purpose
yeah.
because she's casting. I thought they were just saying like the runes have been there or whatever.
I was back and forth because I knew I would get it on a rewatch, but I thought both of those things. I was like, was she doing that during their fight, or have those always been there?
Yeah, no. If you watch the fight again, she was totally like,
Yeah.
hit Agatha. Whoops, I missed and I hit the dome.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so you give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
I rarely give perfect 10s, right?
it'd be perfect 5.
Yeah. So I think I'd say 4.5. I really
Wow,
liked
okay.
it. It definitely dragged a little, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it didn't drag. I think episode 2 was a low point. And I think for what it's worth, episode 7 was a low point, but compared to episode 2, episode 7 was not a low point. Episode 7 was the one where Monica finally came back and she got her powers, and you get to hear sound clips from Captain Marvel. And it's the Malcolm in the Middle episode, I think. No, Malcolm in the Middle was the Halloween episode. It was the Office episode.
Yeah.
Except that's the episode where we learn about Agatha. I don't know. There was definitely lows, but the lows, the highs outnumbered the lows, and I liked it a lot. And yeah, I agree that it's not as good as, say, Infinity War or even Thor Ragnarok, you know?
Yeah.
But I liked it a lot. And I will definitely, if my opinion changes after I watch the whole thing soon, I will come back and report that. Not in the Scoob episode, though, which I keep teasing. It's nothing special. It's just the one episode we have on the back burner. And we keep doing these topical cinematic relief episodes. No, I liked it a lot. I really appreciate what they did. And I will say my biggest takeaway, like you said, is I was whatever on these characters. I fucking love these characters now. The main two,
Oh,
Vision
yeah.
and Wanda. I think
Yeah.
they're such good characters. I think the writing on Vision was exactly what I wanted
Mhm.
from that character.
This TV show made me want Vision back. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not an asshole, but like I didn't give a shit if Vision came back, to be honest.
That's the thing. Vision's like I'm here now scene was weak at
Yeah.
best, and then he in Age of Ultron, and then he had a couple good lines in Age of Ultron, and then he had what was
They pulled a
essentially-
Thor. This character was very mild, and this show made him more interesting.
And then in all the other ones, Infinity War and Civil War, and he really had what just amounted to a cameo.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where my head was at. I was like, I really want to leave this liking these two characters, because right now I don't really care about them because they were sort of in a couple episodes. I mean, a couple movies. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I feel the exact same way. And to take it further, and I will say this, if I was a person in this universe, Scarlet Witch has got a lot of shit coming her way. The
Mm.
two biggest fuck ups out of the Avengers, I'm counting this as the second one, happened because of her, as far as the government's concerned.
Oh, I see what you're saying. There was Lagos, where she exploded
Yeah.
that building.
And then she entrapped an entire town.
Right. Yeah.
As far as the government's concerned, there's definitely been some bigger
right.
whoopsie daisies.
Hey, who was the witness protection person that Jimmy was after? Was that supposed to be Ralph?
Witness protection person was that why he was there?
Yeah, Jimmy was there, and he was like, "I've got a witness protection person on the inside," and Monica was like, "Your witness protection person went missing," and he was like, "Nah, the whole city did."
Oh, interesting. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
I
feel like we should have already.
I feel like we should have. I feel like it was probably Ralph, right?
Maybe.
Or did it just not matter, and I'm thinking too far into it?
I mean, no. I don't know. Anything like that, if it's not concluded, I'm going to assume they're going to follow up on it later.
Yeah. I hope we see more of Jimmy. I like him a lot.
Oh yeah.
He's
well,
cool.
he's crossed characters, which is usually a good sign.
Right. I mean, so did Darcy, which, against all odds, Darcy is back.
She didn't need to be either.
But-
That could have been anybody.
Right, but I do like her inclusion. Everything's said and done. I'm glad they didn't do a two broke girls thing with
Yeah.
her. I'm glad that I like the part she played in WandaVision. But I agree it could have been anybody. But I don't hate her as much as I used to. Is she gonna be in Thor 4? She is, right?
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, if not, then she's completely lost any connection to Thor that she had.
No, the fact that they were like, "Where's Darcy?" Oh, she fucked off. It makes me think that she'll be back. But no, WandaVision was a good.
You know
time.
who?
What?
I was gonna say, you know who definitely won't be Natalie Portman, but just kidding. She's kind of an important part of the next
yeah.
Thor movie.
She's gonna be. I'm calling it now. She's gonna be the best part of the next Thor movie.
Wow. I don't know.
She's got Taika Waititi directing her now.
I'm not saying she's gonna do bad. I'm just saying, why can't I think of his name?
Thor?
Yeah. No, but who plays him?
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. I don't know, man. He's been pulling all the
He has,
stops
yeah.
lately.
Chris Hemsworth definitely had a new found love for this role,
And
or else he
he's
wouldn't
taking to it.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have effed off in Endgame if it wasn't for Thor 3.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the ones that stuck around are definitely the ones I wanted to see more of.
Yeah.
Like Thor and Hulk and Ant-Man and the three kids, as I call them, Wanda, Winter Soldier, and Falcon.
Yeah.
I'm equally as excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Have you been watching the trailers for it?
No.
It looks so
intentionally.
fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. You know that Baron Zemo's back, right?
Who?
The guy from Civil War. The bad guy from Civil War. He was like he was from Sokovia, and he was like reading the book to make Winter Soldier evil again.
Oh.
That dude.
Wasn't he quote, misunderstood? He wasn't like the actual bad guy in the end?
No, the other way around. He was the actual bad guy.
Okay.
And he's the one who, remember Black Panther had a murder boner?
Yes.
And he was like, "You almost made me kill the wrong dude." That
Yeah.
was the worst Black Panther impression anyone has ever done.
You almost made me kill the wrong dude.
It's me, President Barack Obama, and you. Anyways, no, he's back, and he's gonna look like he does in the comics, and he's gonna be like, superheroes are bad again, probably.
Is he the guy? Okay, maybe he's the one at the end who's like, my wife and daughter are
Yes.
dead. I just want to die.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. My wife and daughter. That. Yeah.
I mean, that's
essentially.
how it ended.
My wife and daughter are dead. I just want to die. Yes.
That's
Him.
that's his whole character in that movie.
His name is Zemo. His name is Helmet Zemo. That's his name. But in the comics, his name is Baron Zemo. I don't know if they've called him Baron Zemo in the movies yet. Regardless, he's going to be the main villain, probably, of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Also, heads up, Sharon Carter is going to be in the show also.
Oh, yeah.
Not Sharon Carter.
The niece, right? Or
Is
the
that
daughter?
Sharon? Peggy.
Peggy's the
Yeah, so Sharon Carter, the
Yeah.
niece, she's gonna be in it. I'm excited. It looks good. It stars 2 characters that I didn't really care about, and that's what excites me because that's what WandaVision was.
yeah, no, exactly. Wonder if Chris Evans will be in it.
Probably not. He's
Just as an old man, an homage.
probably not. I'm gonna say no. I'm
Okay.
gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm calling it now. I will say, after the accidental cameo tease and all the multiverse stuff, I'm really fiending for that Doctor Strange movie. I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't seen Doctor Strange in a long time now, and I
Yeah.
feel like he's coming. He's got to have known about all the magic doohickeys that happened in Westview, right?
Either that or he's just so far above it, he just doesn't care.
Right. Well, he can see into the future.
That's what I'm saying. If he knows
oh,
how
well,
it's going to
actually,
end.
if he doesn't have the time stone anymore, can he still see into the future?
Oh.
Maybe he can't do
Good
that
question.
because he definitely used time stone magic to do that. Anyways, we've been talking for a long time. If you haven't learned by now from watching our channel and listening to us talk about the MCU, we really fucking like it, and it's really good. And we want to see them succeed. And please, if you're listening, for the love of God, just release Black Widow. Just release Black Widow so I can watch it, please. But that'll do it for us. Until next time, I've been Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next time.